Okay, everyone heard that. But yeah, and the reason why I asked that you just put your questions in the chat, because a lot of times I'm finding when I host these classes, you guys have new member questions, a lot of great questions, but most time I cover that already in the presentation. And so I will periodically go in the chat and look for some questions. Look for some of the questions. I'll take a quick break to do that. But if I see that, that answer to the questions coming up in my presentation, I'll just keep going. At the end of our class, any questions that I didn't go over in our presentation, I'll reach out to you directly. And this class, again, is being recorded. I always like to start off letting you know that, I'm going to go over a lot of information. A lot of information that I'm going to give you should really be like a 3-hour class if I condense it all into a 2-hour class. So it's a lot of information. And so for me, I find it best if you would just like to play really close attention to what I'm going over, take some really small notes, but maybe not real detailed, because I can give you a copy of this recording. So this class is being recorded. So if you want a copy, just shoot me an email and I can send that this video over to you. All right. Let me check the chat we have. Thank you, Teresa. Got your message. Shannon Brown. Got you. All right. For those of you that joined after I did the roll call, I'm gonna put in really quickly the Google form. If you can just click on that link, put in your first and last name, your RO number, if you guys have it, and then you guys will be okay. All right. So a little bit about who we are, our vision, our mission, and who we service. So our vision, we're dedicated in supporting participants to succeed and profit. Our mission is to provide participants access to reliable data through innovative technology. We service 2 associations. So we service the Delta can't say that word today. We service the Delta Association of Realtors and Bridge Association of Realtors. So I probably have in my class a little bit of attendees from Bridge and some from Delta. So we're glad to have you here. Bridge MLS is the leading MLS source in Northern California Bay Area region, with access to over 10 MLSs, providing more than 80% state coverage. We're really excited about that. So Bridge MLS has 2 systems of choice. Both systems house all of the Bridge MLS data. So our members have the option to choose a primary MLS option, or they can toggle between 2 systems. We can toggle between both the systems. So our first system of choice is going to be ConnectMLS. This is 100% mobile friendly and responsive. It was crafted by a realtor. Some key features are the transaction management system, the client portal, the smart bar, the map and list view, and the customer relations management system. And the second system of choice is our Paragon. This is our legacy system. It is a comprehensive MLS that works, that allows agents to work from their homes 24/7. Some key features as well is the collaboration center, the power search, action icons, the multiple property report layouts, and the market monitor. So what is the NorCal MLS Alliance? This is a coalition of 7 leading Northern California MLSs. The NorCal MLS Alliance partners are accessible in its entirety on our home platforms, ConnectMLS and Paragon. So whether you're using ConnectMLS or Paragon, again, it's your choice, whatever system you are most comfortable working in, you're going to have access to Barry's Regional MLS. You're going to have access, of course, to Bridge MLS. Contra Costa Association, you'll have access to MetroList Regional, MLS Listings, and San Francisco Association. So you no longer need to sign in to any other MLS to view their data. It will all be available on both of our MLS platforms. So again, all listings entered into Bridge MLS will automatically display in SFAR, Barry's, Metro, and MLS listings. And so for that reason, these single sign-on into these systems have been deactivated. And this all happened January 20th of 2021. So a little information about ConnectMLS, which is our first system of choice. It was built by a realtor, as I mentioned earlier. So ConnectMLS was crafted by a former realtor. Let me let someone in. Its functionality is seamless, it's intuitive, and designed with real estate professionals in mind. It's lightning fast, so in terms of providing the data, support, and customization. It's mobile friendly, so making ConnectMLS accessible anywhere, anytime, and there's no download necessary. So you don't need to go into Google Play or into the App Store to download ConnectMLS. You simply log in through your MLS login, click on ConnectMLS, and will automatically fit your screen. And so you see here at the bottom of the screen, your ConnectMLS homepage on the laptop. If you're logging in from your iPad, it will fit the screen and then your phone. The Client Connect portal is also one of a key feature. It's one of my favorite in the system because you can do auto prospecting with the Client Connect. It's easy access, and the agent branding. I'm really big on agent branding, how to set yourself apart. And so with ConnectMLS, I think that is probably one of the easiest, I think, to help you communicate with your clients and brand yourself. So we've got you covered. Actually, okay. I'm sorry, I thought I missed a slide here. I'm just getting ahead of myself. So, but additionally with ConnectMLS and Paragon, Bridge MLS participants and subscribers, again, will have access to more MLS data than any other MLS Northern California. And so just to let you know again that that is from our local jurisdiction, Bay East, Contra Costa, SFAR, MLS Listings, Barry's, and MetroList. And then here on the screen, here's a coverage map of the NorCal MLS Alliance integration. So you see here it's color coded. You have your Barry's in orange, Bay East, Bridge MLS, CCAR in green, MetroList here in the red, MLS Listings. Here you're covering South Bay, and then in the purple is San Francisco. But stop, wait, there's more. So Bridge MLS offers additional coverage integrated through ConnectMLS only. And so just to reiterate, if you log into ConnectMLS and Paragon, you're gonna have access to all of this data. Great. However, if you go into ConnectMLS, we have additional coverages. Through 4 other MLSs. And this is going to cover Southern California. So with ConnectMLS, if you log in, you'll have access to CDAR, the CLAW, CRMLS, and CRISNet. And then here you see the coverage map. And this is why we say that we provide 80% state coverage, because you see we have the Northern California covered, and then here in the yellow and red, you have the MLS, CRISNet, and then in the blue here at the bottom, that's CRMLS. And then here's a closer look here. You have in the purple CDAR, that serves the Riverside County, Mecca, Coachella, Palm Desert, Palm Springs, and much more. So again, no other California MLS provides this much data. We really love going over this part of our business. For Paragon, our second system of choice, just as great. It is our legacy system. So most of you are familiar with Paragon. You've been in it, depending on, you know, if you're a new agent or if you're coming in from another MLS company, you might just see, here is a screenshot of the homepage. So you might just see a couple of different ways it's set up, just a little bit different. But if you are a seasoned agent, again, you should be familiar with Paragon. And so it does have a ton of data. The Paragon system dates back to 1996. It has multiple report layouts, so you can choose from an extensive list of legacy reports. These are accessible anytime. What I really like also about the Paragon system is the Help Connect site. ConnectMLS does have this feature as well. So it has a help site where you can go in and watch tutorials, webinars, user manuals. But I really like the way Paragon's Connect help site works. I feel like it's just really user friendly. And so here's a screenshot of what it looks like. When I go into Paragon, I'll show you how to find this help section here. But if you click on any of these tiles, they're going to tell you, basically going to give you a list of step-by-step instructions on how to work through Paragon for each of these. So it's really neat. So in getting started, the Bridge MLS website, and that's the first thing I'm going to show you today, is a one-stop shop for everything you need related to your MLS membership. We will review everything on the Bridge MLS website from the toolbar menu. I'll show you how to go over, look for the additional tools and resources that will help you with your membership, show you how to find your various member forms. I'm going to show you how to locate the area locator, how to use that. It's a really neat feature that we offer as well. We do also have a live chat. I'll show you how to find that on our website. That's available Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And our website is bridgemls.com. And then we really want to stay in touch with you guys and stay connected. We do put out a lot of information. We try to limit the amount of emails that we send out on daily, or I'll let someone in real quick. On a weekly, monthly basis. Typically, if you're going to get an email from us, open it, read it, because it's going to be very pertinent information related to the MLS. But on our Facebook, on our Instagram, on our YouTube, on our newsletter, we are posting all of the time. We're posting helpful tips and utilizing the MLS, any news related to the MLS, any local jurisdiction as well. So find us on Facebook, Bridge MLS, find us on Instagram, and find us on YouTube too, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And then here is our contact information. I will add this information into the chat once we're done with this webinar. But mainly I'm just going to put in my contact information, but if you want to quickly jot it down, you're going to want to reach out to me if you have any training needs, if you have any training questions, if you want to set up a one-on-one training class with me, if you want to set up a virtual office visit for your team and do some training, I'll be happy to do that. So my email address, probably the best way to contact me, is Carmen@bridgemls.com. And my direct phone number is 510-848-4297. Another number that you're going to want to have is the local MLS support number. That number is 925-363-2333, and their email is support@bridgemls.com. You're going to want to reach out to them for any technical issues that you may have with either ConnectMLS or Paragon or any of our member products. If you run into any problems, loading a listing, conducting a search, what have you, please reach out to them. They're a really great team. And here they are here, Dominic, Michael, and Carrie. So these guys are going to be behind the scenes. They're the ones that if you call or send them an email, you'll be talking to one of them. Very, very, very helpful, very knowledgeable. Laniqua Coleman, she's a compliance specialist. She's coming on at 2 o'clock to go over everything related to rules and regulations. And I believe that is the okay. Check my chat. Oh, no, don't want to leave the meeting. And then what I'm going to do is log in to Bridge MLS and reshare my screen so you guys can take a look at that. All right. Okay, you guys should all see my screen. I'm just moving some things around. I'm working with dual screens. And thank you for your patience. All right, so let's jump in. Right here at the top of the screen, you see your MLS login. And the ConnectMLS login, you have your member portal, and then you have what we call home search. If you click on this little button here, it's going to take you directly to one of our member products called Home Snap, where you can do utilize that system. For your MLS login, this again houses all of our Bridge MLS member applications, such as Paragon, ConnectMLS. You have Bridge Interactive, Cloud CMA, and much more. So if you want to just only use ConnectMLS, if that's your preferred system of choice and you want to bypass all of the other member applications, you can just click on ConnectMLS login. It'll take you directly to ConnectMLS. But just to give you a quick look, I'm going to log in here. I'm going to click on my MLS login and enter my username and password. And then again, here you see the Bridge MLS member application. So you have ConnectMLS, Bridge Interactive, which is an ad and editing tool that we offer for any of your listings. Paragon, you have access to your member portal. Rent Spree is a member product that we offer. We also offer a quick link to the rules and regulations. If you guys need to look up any of that, you find that here. And then you see you have much more here. And then let me see. And then here you have your secondary toolbar. You have your home, your member center, member benefits, news, about us, our contact information. This is a quick link to the website In the Know, which I'll go over here in just a bit. And then we also have our social media links here. So if you want to find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram, please go ahead and do that. You have my events and training calendar here. If you want to book an office exclusive training, you can do that. We have our CAR coronavirus update quick link here. You're always going to find a ticker here that goes over all of our recent news. The Bridge MLS news video, I highly recommend that you guys take a look at this video. So we put out a monthly video. We'll always house it here, but if you go to our YouTube channel, subscribe to our YouTube channel, you can go in and see news videos for the previous months. But what I like about the news video is that, oh, there I go, is that we always go over really important announcements. We'll let you know if there's any policy changes to NAR, CAR, any MLS news updates. We'll go over training. Typically, they're no more than 5 minutes long. We try to keep it at 4. So I highly recommend that you go and check that out. Scroll down a little bit further. You have some flyers here for upcoming events and training. Here we have our ConnectMLS coverage map for a quick reference. And then here at the bottom right-hand corner, this is our online chat. They're offline right now for lunch. But if you want to contact our support team while you're on the website, here is a quick link to chat with them. So let's go back up, and I'm going to go over the Member Center real quick. So the Member Center has a lot of helpful information. So this is going to provide important information such as member applications, where you will find various documents and forms associated with your Bridge MLS membership. You have your Bridge MLS frequently asked questions, your IDX rules, MLS rules, which include helpful tips of the most misunderstood rules, the area locator, and the area map. So yeah, I'm going to click on member application here. Just give you a quick tour. This is, again, where you're going to find really helpful member applications. And then back at the top under Member Center, you have your Bridge MLS frequently asked questions. I find this to be kind of a really helpful tool because most of them, again, that's why it's called frequently asked questions, is because it's everyone has those questions. So you have your IDX, your MLS compliance documents. This is where you're going to find, it's taking a minute for my computer is acting slow. Try to click me. There we go. All right. So here you have your Bridge MLS compliance documents. The first thing you're going to see in this area, these are screenshots. So this is a screenshot here on the left. This is ConnectMLS homepage, and we do provide a quick link to the Bridge MLS rules and regulations. And then if you log into Paragon, on the toolbar, you'll see the Bridge MLS rules and regulations. So we always want to make sure that, you know, we're providing you the information that you need to avoid those violations. And then in scrolling down, looks like my computer, you would typically see PDF here forms that you can download. It's not coming up. And then this is the most misunderstood violations. Sale not being reported within 3 days, failure to post, branding. I won't go too further into this because this is what Lynn will go over, but I just want to let you know that if you're, oh, here are my little PDF forms. But yeah, under Member Center, under MLS compliance documents, this is where you're going to find this information, most misunderstood rules, and then the MLS rules frequently asked questions here. And then let's go back into Member Center. Another tool I like to show everyone is the area maps by property address. So you can utilize this, this link here so that you can enter a property address if you're looking for the area number for a listing. Or you can click on area maps. I'm going to show you the area maps first. I'm going to click on this. And this is going to provide you PDF forms of the area codes by city. And then they have them separated out too. So you have your Alameda maps, Berkeley maps here. So you can just go to this section here, click and download any of these to your computer or print them if you have them in a nice little binder. But yeah, if you want to do an actual search for an area number, you go back to Member Center under area maps by property address. I'm going to click on that. And it's going to bring you up to this website here where you just enter the city. So you can just scroll down and select your city, or you can just type it in. So I'm just going to do a quick search here. Enter the house number and the street name. So this is going to be, oh, can't type. Shoreline Court, hit enter or search, and then here is your area map. So you see for this particular listing, 142 Shoreline Court in Richmond is in area 1707. So that's a really helpful tool I like to show everyone. And that pretty much covers the Member Center. Under member benefits, let me show you the membership products. So as a Bridge MLS participant or subscriber, you'll hear that, either subscriber or participant. You'll find your member products here in this section. And these are products that we provide our participants at no additional cost. This is not where you access these products. Most products you're going to find if you log into your MLS login to actually utilize the products. But this is just giving you, showing you the list of products that we provide you at no additional cost. It is a basic subscription for each of these products. You can upgrade them and there's different pricing, but you do get a special pricing for being a Bridge MLS participant. So you have Rent Spree. This is one of our newest products that we've just launched. You have our 2 MLS platforms. You have ConnectMLS and Paragon. You have true mobile sites with ConnectMLS. You have access to HomeSpotter, HomeSnap. HomeSnap, that's going to be here at the top of the screen. When you want to use HomeSnap, you just click on Home Search, it'll take you there. So you can see each of these member products that we provide you. Each of them will have like a brief description of what they provide you. So we have our added editing tools for your listings. If you need to add or edit any of your listings into the system, you can use Paragon or you can use Bridge Interactive. Right now, and I get this question a lot, like, well, what is the difference between Paragon and ConnectMLS? Like, why would I choose one over the other? And really, the only difference is it's just it's like basic functionality. But they provide the same data and they share the same data. So if you add a listing into Paragon, it will reflect into, if you add a listing in Paragon, it will reflect over in ConnectMLS and vice versa. However, one of the differences, which is about to change, is that you would only be able to use Paragon or Bridge Interactive to add your listings into the MLS platform or edit them. But effective March 22nd, so here in just a couple of weeks, I need to add someone. ConnectMLS is going to actually have that feature to add and edit your listings. And so we'll be updating the system. But we're really excited about that because previously that would have been the only main difference, is that if you need to add a listing or edit a listing, you could only do that in Paragon or utilizing Bridge Interactive here. But and that ConnectMLS offers additional data, which works well. But for ConnectMLS now, you're going to have access to the added editing tool effective March 22nd. And we have a class on March 23rd, the day after launch, that will show you how to utilize ConnectMLS added editing tool. You have a photo and video editing tool here with Box Brownie. We have some everyday tools here with Home Light, Cloud CMA, all of these cloud products. You have access to CRS data, showing time. Here's some additional resources, New Home Professionals, Rate Plug. Rate My Agent also is a really good one. If you don't have an account yet with Rate My Agent, I highly suggest going in and setting up your account. Again, it's provided to you at no additional cost because you're a Bridge MLS participant. Just make sure when you're going into any of these products and you're signing up for the first time, if they ask you, if you see a section where they ask you like what MLS you belong to, just make sure you select Bridge MLS here. But Rate My Agent, that's like the Yelp for agents. So this is where you can have all of your reviews all in one section. It's a really, really great tool. I love it. And throughout the month, I do host training classes for all of our member products. So you'll just have to go onto the training calendar and register. So back under member benefits, membership products is the training center. I like to show this to you guys too, because this is where we house all of our our learning library, all of our pre-recorded webinars. So when we first launched Rent Spree back in May, we did have a webinar on how to utilize Rent Spree. And so we have that webinar here posted for your viewing. Paragon Connect, that is the mobile version of Paragon. And so we have some instructional videos here as well. Scrolling down, here we have some training videos on some of our member products here. These are pre-recorded webinars. We have some user guides here that are really helpful. Here's a ConnectMLS training handout, Paragon training handout. And then we have some live sessions here on the left of the screen. These are going to be courses that I teach on a monthly basis. And then here back at the top, back at member benefits, events, and training, this is going to be my section here. This is where you're going to find the flyers for my upcoming classes. And then my calendar here at the bottom, where you can click on any of these and it'll take you to the link where you can register. And then here we see March, this little arrow here, April and May, I believe. Okay, April. So you have classes, my classes are already set up for April here, and a few for May. And let's go back up. Here under news, this is where you're going to find our Bridge MLS news, our podcast, and the NorCal MLS Alliance. I'm going to click on NorCal MLS Alliance. This is going to give you additional information. So if you're interested in knowing more about it, you'll want to click here, and has some frequently asked questions. Here at the bottom of the screen, it has the contact information, and then it provides you a link to the NorCal MLS Alliance website where it has additional information. And then let's scroll back up. About us, you have our board of directors, our MLS committee, our MLS staff, and how the MLS works for you. I'm going to click on that because I highly suggest, like maybe on some free time, that you go through here and learn a little bit more, especially if you're a new agent. This will really help explain to you how the MLS works, being in the know, and then how to explain that to your clients. Reason being is that sometimes you may run into someone, a future client, or a friend of a friend that is looking for a home, and they're like, oh, well, we go on the website and we just Google the information, and we really don't need an agent. They feel like they can find their listings on their own, and good for them. But they don't really know what it is that the MLS provides, and that having an agent that is knowledgeable in the MLS, how utilizing an agent will better serve them. And so here, going through here, it's going to, if you click on for buyers or for sellers, how it works, it's going to give you those helpful tools on how to sell yourself because you are the agent that's in the know. That's basically how that works. And our contact information. And if you want to schedule a virtual office visit, you can click on that. Quickly go into, back at the top of the screen, I'm going to go into the member portal. So I'm going to click on that and enter my login information. Let's see, did I type it in right? I did. Great. Okay. So here you're going to see the dashboard on the left-hand side of the screen. Oh, before I move forward, just in case, if you're going into your member portal for any reason, and this, what looks like what could be your profile picture, just know that for some reason, right now, this is your profile picture. There's no way to go in and edit this, and so it's a picture of yourself. I found out that the hard way when I started about 1.5 years ago when I first logged in. I thought, oh, well, let me update my picture here. And for the life of me, I couldn't figure out, there's no way. And so I contacted support and said, hey, am I doing this wrong? And yeah, that can't be changed. So I'm going to save you some time with that. This is your profile picture. But anyway, so if you need to change your profile information, your contact information, you just have a little quick edit button here. You can change that. Any notifications will be housed here. We offer some quick links to Bridge AOR, Bridge MLS is our website, NAR websites, and CAR website. If you signed up for any courses, I'm sorry, if Bridge Association of Realtors are offering any courses, so if you're a member of Bridge AOR, you're going to see these upcoming courses and a quick link to register. Now, since I have your attention, might as well just go into this real quick. And so the residential purchase agreement, the RPA, we had a class a few months back, we had a lot of people requesting that we repeat that class. And so March 16th is our new class here. So I highly recommend that you go in and sign up for that class here. Account balances on the right-hand side of the screen. So if you have any account balances with Bridge MLS, you have a quick link, Pay Now button here. And any upcoming events that you do sign up for, you're going to see that here. Any committee information, you'll see that here. At the top of the screen under member, my profile, I'm going to click on that. And here you can enter a little bit more information, some personal information, your address, right next to personal, card on file. This is where you can upload a credit card or a debit card so that you could have some quick pay access. And then back under member, my account, I'm going to click on that. And here you're going to see any open invoices. This is going to see your timeline. And then next to open invoices, you can see your history there. And let's go back to the website. And that's really all that I have to show you for our website. And we have about an hour left. It's going to take about 30 minutes to go over ConnectMLS, and then about 30 minutes to go over Paragon, and then we will have Lynn come on. So I'm going to give you a quick break. Let's meet back here at 1 o'clock. If you need to take a bathroom break or grab something to eat, stretch, do jumping jacks, make a quick phone call. But let's meet back here at 1 o'clock. And then once you get back, if you can just put in the chat, just type in here or, you know, a hand raise emoji, just let me know that you're back and then we'll go ahead and get started. But yeah, we'll see you back here at 1 o'clock. Okay. Just checking to see. Everyone is back. Okay. All right. Got it. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to make sure you guys are looking at the right screen, our website here. I do want to tell you just quickly, I apologize if I'm saying a lot or pausing a lot, but I'm also having a lot of trouble with my throat today. I woke up with a really bad sore throat, so it kind of hurts to talk and some swelling, but not for sympathy am I telling you this, but just to let you know, if I take some pauses, it's just to let my voice and my throat kind of rest a bit as well. So I apologize for that. All right, got some more people back. And taking sips of water is helping. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive into ConnectMLS and give you a run through on that. And go over that for about 30 minutes and log into Paragon and give you a quick tour. So yeah, this is gonna be a quick tour. I'll give you the basic functionalities and then let Lynn take over at 2 o'clock. So you'll see I'm here back at the website, bridgemls.com. Log into the MLS login. And because I already entered my credentials, it's going to take me to the dashboard where you'll find the Bridge MLS member applications. And then I'm just going to click on ConnectMLS here. Here we are. All right, I see that almost everyone is back. All right. Make sure you guys can see that too. All right, I just switched some screens around, so I just wanted to double check and make sure you guys can see. But yeah, here is ConnectMLS. This is the home page here. At the top of the screen here, this dashboard, I'm sorry, not this dashboard, but toolbar is what I'm gonna really go over. Just let you know how these toolbars work, each icon works, and then these little square boxes, if you will, how each of these, what we call widgets, work. And so here, the home screen here, My MLS, this little home button is what it is. It reroutes you back to your ConnectMLS homepage. So anywhere you are within the system, if you click on this little house button, it's going to bring you back to this home page here. The next little icon here, this is where you have your various search options to choose from. So you can choose residential income, commercial. You can also do a search for your own personal inventory or tour open houses. So here, this is our listing. So this is where you're going to add and edit your listing. So until March 22nd, when we launch this, in the meantime, we give you a quick link to Bridge Interactive or the quick link to Paragon. So if you need to add and edit any of your listings, if you add a listing in Paragon or Bridge Interactive or make any edits to your listings in Paragon or Bridge Interactive, those will be reflected in ConnectMLS now. You just don't have the option, again, to add or edit them. But you will have that option here on March 22nd. So be sure to sign up for the class on the 23rd, where we'll go over and show you how to add and edit those listings on ConnectMLS. The next little button here, reports. These are where you can customize, let me admit someone, reports here. So this is where you can customize and generate various reports like CMAs and personalized report templates. You have your financial tools here as well. And here, your payment calculator. And then forms, these are going to be default forms set up by your brokerage. You can also find your Bridge MLS forms, your broker forms, and some zip forms here. You won't have an admin button, of course. That's just for me to see. The smart bar, it's probably one of the most utilized feature within ConnectMLS. So this is basically a smart tool that allows you to transition between any device. You can pick up where you left off. So you can search up to 5 different categories. You can do a search for a specific listing number. You can add in a listing address. You can search for an agent name, the license number, client name, and office name. So the smart bar, let me click on it so you can see. Here, it dates and timestamps everything that you search. So again, you can access the info from any device at any time. And so here you see my recent history, did a search for a listing. I did a residential search. I did a search for sold properties in the area that I was in. I was actually working on my phone on Sunday, and I was in the Oakland area, actually looking up this address here, 310 Magnolia, which is a pending sale. But I wanted to see like what other listings were up for sale in or have sold in that area. So I just did a search within using my phone and just typed in sold, and listings came up in that area. So did another search for a listing, did a search for a client. But here to the right, you see its date and timestamp. So if you were going to go and use your smartphone, this recent history will show up again with your date and time stamped if you're using your smartphone or if you're using your iPad. So this is why it says it's a really good tool for on-the-go working. That way you can pick up right where you left off. Next little button here is your My Listings and Transactions. This little button here back at the top. So any live listings in Paragon will be reflected in this listing and transaction section here. Again, until March 22nd, anything that needs to be maintained should be updated in Paragon or Bridge Interactive. Here you have your clients. This is the next little button here. So if you want to add any of your clients to the system, this little button here at the top, you just click on Add. Make sure you guys can see that. Yep. And within this box, the bottom of the box, click on More Details because it's going to open up some more fields. Anywhere you see a little red asterisk is a required field that you'll need to fill out. So the first and last name, the status, if they allow for reverse prospecting. And then, of course, you can just put in as much information as you want. Once you have that information entered, you just click on Add, and it's going to add that client. Just going to click Cancel, and then you'll see your client. There's 2 ways you'll see it on the home screen here. You'll see these little thumbnails, and then you'll see them in a spreadsheet view as well. The spreadsheet view will also tell you the last time they've logged into their client portal, which I'll show you here in just a second. So I'm going to click on Selena Gomez just to give you a quick tour of how the client contact looks here. So you do have a dashboard. So this is your dashboard. This is your view of this particular client. You have your client information to the left. In the middle of the screen here, this is your client activity. So any listings that you've sent to your client, any automatic searches that you have will show up here. And so these listings are the same. This is the same screen that your client will see as well. Kind of works like Facebook is the best way I kind of describe it, like your Facebook feed, so to speak. So here, this listing was sent to Selena, if you want to communicate with Selena, say you looked at this one, you've seen it personally, and you think this is a great fit for her, you can type right in here and say, like, hi, would you like to tour this home? You can say, you know, that you toured it, seems like a great fit, and hit enter. And then you'll see that communication here. So I can go in and show you, and you have access to this too, view the portal and see how it would look like on their end. I'll show you here how that looks here in just a second. But to the right of the screen here, you have your searches. You can conduct a new search, an automatic search. We have it going automatically for any of their needs. And any of the saved searches for them as well. CMAs, flyers, and referrals. I'll talk about referrals here in just a second. At the top of the screen, my service partners. But just quickly, since I'm here, if you have any service partners in the system, you can easily refer those out to your client just by selecting refer service partner. So back here at the top of the screen by her name, these three little boxes here, view portal. So if you click on this link, it's going to give you access to Selena Gomez's portal, and you can see what it looks like in her view. So I'm going to click on that. And here's her view on the left of the screen. And I'll go over here in just a bit how to set up, you know, your agent branding and all of your information, because as she's in her portal and wants to refer you out to any of her friends or family members, she has that quick link to refer a friend. So the more information that you have here, all of your branding information, your excuse me, your social media links and so forth. Yeah, the more the better you can. And so here's the listings that you've sent. These are all automatic searches here. And then here is that first listing that I wrote. Hi, would you like to tour this home? Selena would see that message and could communicate right back to you. It's really, really neat. So she can say, yes, would love to, and hit enter. And then you see that communication here. And she can pull up driving directions. She can pull up property flyers, financial reports. And then here are the recommended services. So if you send any recommendations to any of your service partners, she'll see that information right here. What I also like about this and why I like ConnectMLS is because, again, the client portal is what you see here. But you can also promote this portal with your clients and let them know, like, if they want to conduct like their own searches, you know, don't want them on Zillow looking for a house, because you know that's what they're doing late at night. You know, I've worked with an agent before looking for a house, but I didn't have access to ConnectMLS where I can do my own home search within ConnectMLS system and still using my agent. I went on Google and then went on Zillow and was doing my own searches and saw other names. And so, yeah, you don't want to do that. So, yeah, just let your client know that they can conduct their own search. So this little search button here, if they click on that, they can enter their city to narrow their search. They can enter like price range and what have you, and then it'll all come up here. And then, you know, let's just say if she likes this one and she's interested in it, she could, you know, click on a heart and make it her favorite. She could thumbs up, thumbs down it. She could say maybe, or she can have a comment, and you will get notified. And by that, I mean, let me go back into her portal. So anything that she marked as her favorite. So this is, I'm back to the screen where it's your view. If she clicked on anything that was a favorite, you'll see that here. And then you can contact her and say, hey, I have, you want to come go see this or what have you. And so I just think it's a really great way to communicate with your clients. And so here, my listing, we did my clients. Okay, my service partners. So this is this is just a way like you building your database of reliable professionals that you may have used, that you're currently using, that you've used in the past, that provide services related to the real estate transaction that you want to refer to your clients. So you just click on Add New here at the top of the screen, and then enter all of their information. And then that way, when you're in your client's profile, back into Selena, click on referrals, you can just go ahead and refer a service partner out to them. So that's really good. It's going to make you look like super professional. Here, the next one, the prospecting manager. This is where you're going to have all of your, there's going to be several ways where you're going to find any automatic searches that you have set up. But here's where it houses all of them under their prospecting manager. So you see I have 2 going on right now. You can conduct a new search. You can change any notification templates if you like. This is where you're going to find that. It tells you when it was last run. Right now I have mine running on real time, when it was created, when it expires, and you can edit them at this time here using these little pencil icons or delete them. And the next little button here, this little star. So this basically, is what we call your favorites. And it works like a shopping cart so that we can gather listings from different areas of the MLS. Click on the little star, and then it'll house all of your favorites in this section here. Pretty self-explanatory. This button here, the CRS tax, this button is linked to CRS tax, which pulls directly from the county assessor's office. So you can verify property information, quickly search for property by owner name, street address, subdivision, what have you. So I'm just going to click on that real quick so that you can take a look at it. You do have, here you go, you have access to that. So you do get a subscription with CRS tax as a Bridge MLS participant. So this is what it will look like. So you can do your searches. Let me go back. The next little link here, this is tools and resource links. Gives you some quick links to some of our member products here, your member portal, Bridge MLS rules and regulations. You'll find that here and here. And then the next little icon here is a new workspace. Let me close that. Is a new workspace. So this feature is available and it allows you to use it for multitasking. So you can open up a maximum of 3 new workspaces. And basically, so like if you're working within the system, you're either conducting a search or you're working with a client, you get a phone call or you need to conduct a new search, enter a new client, what have you. You don't want to stop what you're doing on this page. You just click on the new workspace. It's going to open up a whole new web browser where you can, conduct your information. And let's say you're going and doing a search. You're on this page, you're working. You need to continue multitasking because you're so busy. Let's just say you get a call and you need to look up a new client. You just open up a new workspace. So now you see I'm working within 3 different ConnectMLSs. And I can go in, let's just say this time we need to work with a service partner. And then you do your business. And then you can toggle between 3 here. So you have 1 open for your clients, 1 open for searches, and 1 for your service partner. And it's all going to save the same information. So that's really neat. The help section here. So this, I highly recommend, because we don't have a lot of time to really go in and see how ConnectMLS really works, like really dive into it. I'm just showing you like basic functionalities and where to find things. But it does have a help center. I'm going to click on that. And then I know I have to do a new share. Yeah, I do. Okay. This is what it looks like. So this is where you could type in here and do a search for in the knowledge base. There's an online manual. There are video tutorials, pre-recorded tutorials. But let's just say, you know, you want to know now, like you're really interested in working with ConnectMLS and you want to learn how to do a search by map. So you can just type in map search and it's going to give you a list of different topics to choose from. So here you have, you know, you can do a search map and list view, watching a video. You can do e-tips, smart bar. So just different, so you click on there, it's going to give you step-by-step instructions, or if you chose a video, it's going to do that. So that's really neat. And then let me go back into and here under settings, so if you don't have your profile picture set up, you're going to see, I think, your initials, first and last name initials. But here's a way that you can go in and do some agent branding. So you're going to click on settings here. Scroll down to see the settings and click on that. And here's the really important thing to know about this. Sometimes because people see when they first log in my business card that editing this personal information is their agent branding, but it's not. So just be really careful with that. This is just your basic information for other ConnectMLS users, like other agents, you know, if I'm logging in, I'm going to see your basic information. But in order to actually utilize the agent branding and put in all the information, you're going to scroll down to where it says personal information and then modify my contact information and online business card. So if you click on that, again, anything with a red asterisk is a required field, but you can put in a ton of information here. You can put in your title, language is spoken, which I think is really, sorry, let me let someone in, which is really great. You can put in a primary and secondary email, put in your website, your Facebook, so all of your social media links here, and so forth. And then once you put in all of your information, you're going to click on save. So just make sure you go to your settings here, top right-hand corner, click on settings, modify my contact information online business card. And then you can modify your bio and upload your photo here. And then let's go to the home page real quick. And I'm going to kind of show you quickly these widgets here. So in the left-hand corner of the screen, you have your showing widget. This is going to take you directly to showing time. So if you have any confirmed appointments that you've requested, you can look here, click on that. Or if you need to confirm any appointments for your listings or any feedback, just click on that. It's going to take you directly to showing time. Again, you get a free basic membership or account with showing time. Here you have your tools and resources, quick link to Bridge MLS rules and regulations again, and some quick links to some of our member products, your member portal, website. So your tools and resource links, you can find that here, and at the toolbar at the top that we went over. This little button here brings that down. And then you have our blog, you have some shortcuts. This can be customized, your shortcuts. You can do that under settings. And then here's your client activity. So this is the same client activity that you're going to see for all of your clients. So if you have multiple clients, you're going to see that here, kind of like Facebook. It's pretty neat. So earlier we did, you know, this listing here with Selena. Says, hi, would you like to tour this home? And she said yes. And then you know, you don't have to actually go into the client portal and communicate you can do that. It's taken a while to load. Here we go. You don't have to just do it from here. It'll always be on the home page, which is really neat, right front and center to communicate. And you can say, great, I will schedule one today. And then she'll get that message and she can respond. So I think this is really neat. And then here you have your bulletin on the right-hand corner of the screen here, top right-hand corner. So any really important news that we send out, be sure to check out this bulletin so you can stay current with any important news. This is the market activity. So what we call the market monitor. So right here, right now I have each day, this is going to refresh and tell me the area that I'm watching, anything new, expired, any price changes, hot list, sold, and pending for my area. You can always change this. If you want to go back, let's say 3 days, click on enter or refresh, and that's going to tell you anything that's happened in that time frame. I believe you can go back as far as, let's do 29. Yeah, you can go back as far as 30 days, but you can only, if you just manually put in that number, but for default days, you could only do 7. And to customize this, you click on this little customize view within this widget here. So click on customize. I have to do a new share for this one as well. Here we go. And didn't need to do that. And so in customizing it, you can select the class. Right now I have mine set as residential, but if you click on this little drop-down menu here, you can add lots of lands, mobile. I'll keep mine at residential, and then you can select the area that you want to monitor. So you can either, if you know the area number, you could put that in there, type it in, or you can click on this little magnifying plus sign, click on that, and it's going to give you a list of areas. I always have to do a new share when I go over these. Here we go. So to the left of the box here, these are the areas that are selected now, gives you the list. It also gives you a list on the right that you can choose from. Anything red is already highlighted and on your market monitor. If you need to remove any of them, you just simply click on the little X, it's going to remove it. Anything that you want to add, you just click on that little, click on the area, and it's going to automatically move it onto your chart here. You can scroll through and look for the areas, or you can type it in this box and do a search. And once you do that, you just hit OK, and it's going to save it. And let's go. So that's basically how that market activity works. It's really neat. So if you click on any of these new or expired price change hot list, it's going to take you to a spreadsheet view of those listings in that area, and then you can go from there. Any automatic searches, this is a quick widget where you have your automatic searches. So anything that's a current search, you'll find in this box here where you can click on it and edit it. Again, you also have that in your prospecting manager here at the top. Any transaction updates, so if you have any listings in the system, you'll find any of the transaction updates, a quick link here. And that pretty much covers all of these little widgets here. But let's go in, I'm gonna show you what a quick search looks like. I'm gonna go in back at the top of the screen, general search. Just for time-saving purposes, I'm gonna do a very basic search. So I'm gonna click on residential. It's going to take me to this box here, where you can see you have a ton of information that you can fill in. At the bottom here, it's gonna show you all of the data sources. that it's pulling your listings from. If you know you want to work within a particular MLS and you don't want to pull from all of them for any reason, you could just simply click on the X and it'll remove that data source. You don't have to work in it. So I'm going to just click on, a few of them and just remove them. If you want to add them back, you just simply click within the box and it's going to bring up the list. You just click on the name and it's going to add it right back in. And to the right of the screen here at the top, you're going to see a little tally of all of the matches that came up according to your criteria. It's also going to give you a quick summary of all the filters that have been added or applied. So right now we have residential and status and then the data sources here. So it gives you a quick view because this can look, pretty busy. Here it's going to house my searches. So I want to say 15. So this is going to give you a list of all of your previous searches that you've ran. And you can, if you want to work within that listing or that search rather, you could just click on it and it'll automatically load in this area. Right next to previous search, you have your manual searches. So if you went in and did a search and you saved it as a manual search that you can go in and edit it at any time and rerun it, you can do that by clicking on any of these and it'll add that information here and then you can rerun it. And then you have your automatic searches here, your auto prospecting. So several different ways, and mainly any screen you're on in ConnectMLS, you're going to find your automatic searches, which is really easy. Also for time-saving purposes, I'm just going to go in and load a last search that I ran. But here, you can see you can enter your city, district, neighborhood, price range, building type, bedrooms. If you here at the bottom of the screen, I'll show you rather quickly advanced options. If you click on this little button here, it's going to open up the features. So this section here, so this is basically, you would utilize this for your client's wish list. So if you have a client that says, it must not have carpet or must have washer dryer connections, you're going to want to open up that button. So you can put in those features here. Must have one or more, must not have any, must have all, and enter that information. So I'm going to go back to my previous searches and I'm just going to click on that and it's going to automatically load for me. So I did a search in Oakland, 1.2, detached, 1 bedroom, 1 bath. And I left all of the MLSs on there because that's not going to change really anything. And then you see I have 2 matches according to my criteria. So at this time, you could view the results on a map. So if you click on map results, it's going to give you a spreadsheet view of the listings and then where to find them on the map. So it'll give you here are my 2 little listing pins on the map. And then, or you could, let me go back on search and then just, that was map results. You could just view the results, typically is how I use it, and then see the spreadsheet view. What I like about the spreadsheet view, it gives you pretty much everything you need to know before you even click on and look at the MLS report. So for this first listing, or either one of these, if you click on this little blue icon, it's going to show you where to find that, or it's going to give you that listing on a map. Gives you the status, the address, the city, the days on market, the area number that it's in, listing price, building type, square footage, what have you. It's going to give you HOA information here, any pictures, so you can quick links to pictures or virtual tour. I'm going to skip over this button here and just show you real quickly. It also it tells you what data source it's pulling from. So the first listing's pulling from San Francisco, The second listing is pulling from Bridge MLS. So, and then this little button here, it's probably one of my favorite features in ConnectMLS, aside from the client portal. So this is going to give you additional information. So let's just say, just by seeing the spreadsheet, it's right in the price range. You want sort of more information. You just click on that little information button, and it's going to give you the additional information. So if it had any disclosure documents or what have you, any associated documents, you'll see that information here. You can immediately pull the CRS property tax information. So if you click on that link, it's going to take you directly to CRS data, and you can view the actual property report. It does all the, the legwork for you. You can see listing and property history. You can see the street. You can create a cloud CMA if you like, street side view, bird's eye view of the listing, print the listing, email the listing. You can add it to your favorites. You could get driving directions. You could schedule a showing or report any problems. So I really like these quick links here. So let's go in and look at the report real quick. So I'm just going to click on this first listing here and give you the view. So this is a full detailed report here. You can change the way this report type by clicking within this button here. Click on that drop down menu and you can change the report type here. And you'll have all of the information. So it's immediately going to pull an agent report. So you'll have the confidential information here, schedule a showing, click on that quick link, has all the features and what have you. If you want to see what this looks like on a client-friendly view, this little button here will give you the client-friendly view. Takes out all of the confidential information, all the agent information. And then it also has a quick link button here, additional information here. So within this MLS, if you want to pull up some more reports or see what the street side view, bird's eye view, what have you, if you want to email this listing, if this listing is, let's just say you didn't convert this to a client-friendly listing, don't worry about it. If you click on the additional information and email listing, it's going to automatically convert it into a client-friendly. And basically what it's going to do is email the client a link to their portal and let them know that you sent them a listing, and they're going to log into their portal and see that listing there. And then you guys can start communicating on that listing, which is really neat. And that really is like the basic features of ConnectMLS. I do have a class coming up where I dive in deeper into ConnectMLS. I believe it's on the 23rd is when we have our class for the add-in editing. The 21st is ConnectMLS Essentials, where I dive in a little bit, a lot more deeper, and I can show you more step-by-step instructions on ConnectMLS. We have about 20 minutes to go over Paragon. So I'm going to go back to member applications, and I'm just going to briefly go over Paragon. Most of you guys are probably already familiar with Paragon. Again, it has the basic functionalities as ConnectMLS. It's just, a different software is all it is. So I'll go over the toolbar. We have some widgets here, just like ConnectMLS. We have our dashboard here. You'll see that there isn't, so this is, the home page is what we call like the message center. And then we have our secondary portal, toolbar here with some quick links, but you see it doesn't have the client portal right front and center, but it does have a client portal, but in Paragon it's called Collaboration Center. They do have a link here, so this widget contact activity. This is their version of the client portal. Works just as well. It's just, you know, in a smaller area. But let me go and start with the power search. And so with the power search works just as it does in ConnectMLS. So if you want to do a search for, you know, a listing number, an address, an agent, a member, what have you, it's like the Google of Paragon. It just doesn't date and timestamp the way ConnectMLS does. But it works just as well. I mean, it's a power search, so it's going to bring up everything that you need related to whatever you put into the fields. Again, it just doesn't have a date and timestamp, no problem. Over to the right, the help section. This is where you're going to go in, and let me make sure you guys can see that. Yeah. So this is where you're going to go in and click on any of these links, just like I showed you on the PowerPoint presentation. If you want to learn more about the home page, if you want to learn more about conducting the search or working with results, if you want to learn more about the Collaboration Center, all you have to do is click on any of these icons here, or thumbnails rather, and it's going to give you step-by-step instructions with screenshots of how to conduct the search if that's what you're looking to do. And then it'll also give you links for like video tutorials. So this is really, really helpful. This is available 24 hours, 7 days a week. So I highly suggest you guys go in and utilize that until you can take one of my classes. Back in Paragon here, the home button. I'll go over this toolbar here quickly. Again, it works just like any other home button. If anywhere in the system you want to get back to this home page, you just go in and click on that home. If you want to conduct a search, this is the search icon. So you can search by class here. Specialty search, you can look up your saved searches. If you want to add any listings or edit any listings, you'll just click on this little button here for your listings information. CMAs, I don't recommend using this link for CMAs. I do recommend Cloud CMA. It's just, you do get a free basic membership with CMA, with Cloud CMA. If you were to go in and use this one, I mean, it works great. It would just, you would have to start from scratch. And for me, the presentation isn't as nice as it is with Cloud CMA. But if you want to use Paragon CMA's system, this is where you would click, but I don't recommend using it. I'll show you where to find Cloud CMA. Contacts, if you want to enter any of your contacts, you just simply click on Add Contact. If you need to view and manage them, you can do that here. Your financial reports here, financial calculators. Tax, this is going to take you directly to the CRS data system, just as it would in ConnectMLS. Here you have some membership information here, rosters. Resources, this is where you're going to find Cloud CMA. So if you click on resources and you go down here to tools and services, you're going to find your Cloud CMA. I highly recommend using Cloud CMA. When you're in the system and you've conducted a search and you found your listing, there's also a link within the listing, within the MLS report, where you can pull a Cloud CMA, or you can utilize Cloud CMA. But this is just a quick link under resources here. Paragon Connect is the mobile version of Paragon. So if you're on your smartphone, and you log into Paragon, just go to resources, and under that you can find Paragon Connect, and then that will make it a mobile mobile-friendly version of Paragon. Really quickly, preferences. Go into preferences, and under systems to the right, preference wizard, this is where you could customize your Paragon system. So you'll click on the start button here. And then this is where you can use, do your agent branding as if you were in ConnectMLS. So you'll upload your photo. It'll give you all of the instructions on how to do that. And just click on next. You can do your office logo. This is assuming your identity for your email. You can update your market monitor here. And you just click next. It's going to give you step-by-step instructions on how to go in and customize your Paragon. I'm going to click on close. Also under preferences, go in and go back under systems and the collaboration center preference wizard. And let me correct myself. So the preference wizard is where you're going to go and customize Paragon so that it's user-friendly for you and the way you do business. The collaboration center preference wizard, this is your agent branding. I'm sorry. So you're going to go on here and click on start. And you can update your photo. You could add all of your social media links. Click next. And then this is the About Me page that you can customize. So this is where you're going to go and do your agent branding. So I highly recommend you go in, if you're doing it for the first time, go under Preferences, Preference Wizard, and the Collaboration Center Preference Wizard as well, and update those. Oh, didn't mean to do that. All right, so let's go in. Also, they have a quick search here. So if you want to do a pretty lengthy search for any of these classes, this is where you're going to go. But if you're just going in for a quick search, you just, have the zip, the class, the city, the MLS number, the area, status, bedroom, bath, and price. You just enter that and then click on search, and it's going to give you that information. And you have the message center here. So any messages related to Paragon that we send you, this is where you're going to find that message. We have Paragon News here at the bottom. To the right of the screen, you have your market monitor. You can customize this just as you were in ConnectMLS as well. Just click within this box, this little widget here, this little wheel, you click on that. Let me make sure you guys can see that. Yes. Okay. And so then you can enter your class, or you could enter it just by typing it in, or click on this little magnifying glass. It's going to give you a list to choose from, and you can click whichever one you like. And the type, you can either type it in or click on the magnifying glass for whatever class you would like. The area number, you can again type it in. If you need to edit any of these, you can just click on the X, it's going to remove them. Or again, you can click on this little magnifying glass. It's going to give you a list of the area numbers that you can choose from. You can even do a city. So the max days that you can set the market monitor to watch is 7 days, but you can go back and look at however many days you want. I believe it also goes up to 30. I'm going to hit cancel and just go back. So you have anything new in the area, anything expired, price changes, hot list sold, pending tours, open houses. And right now I have mine set at the default of 7 days. But if you just want to look and see, like, what happened, it's Monday morning and you just want to know what happened over the weekend, you can set 7 to 2 and then either hit enter or refresh. And it's going to change the information and let you know what's happened in the past 2 days. And then here, there's your showing time widget. Again, you just click on any of these little buttons. It'll take you directly to showing time where you can confirm your appointments. Again, the contact activity, this is your collaboration center. So any information, any activity you have with your clients, any comments, any searches, you can click on any of these little buttons. It's going to take you directly there. And then it also has a calendar, which is pretty self-explanatory. In the middle of the page, you're going to find our news section. So anything, any alerts, any important information, you're going to find these posted here. Our contact information. And then it also has a secondary toolbar. So you can, if you want to work within ConnectMLS, click on that button here. You have your member portal, you have access to CRMLS, the area locator, as I showed you on our website. We have events and trainings. If you want to look up my calendar for events, and then instructional videos as well. You have your area maps. You have your quick stats here, any member applications. If you have any email opt-in or out for any of your clients, you'll find that here. And then your Bridge MLS rules and regulations here. Some really helpful links. Let me show you really a quick search. I'm going to click on search here at the top. Keep it simple like I did with ConnectMLS. Click on residential. And then here you have all of the fields that you can enter all of your data. It's also going to give you, as you put in information, it's going to give you a summary of all of the information you've entered here. So you have a quick view. As you enter your information, you have reports that you can pull from here to the right of the screen. So the primary criteria, this box here, it's just, you know, information. Let me move this over. But like you know, self-explanatory primary criteria. So you can enter the status, county, area. You can do a search by map, price range, building type, what have you, all right here. There is a secondary and advanced criteria that you can enter. These little blue bars here. So if you scroll over to the right, click on that, it's going to open up that box. So in the secondary criteria, I always like to show people, because I know that just by putting in the basic information really isn't going to give you, you know, all the wants and needs that your client's looking for. So opening up the second criteria is going to give you the features section. So this is going to allow you to put in any must-haves or must-not-haves or must-have one or more. It's also going to open up the ADU information as well that you can enter. And then you have your advanced criteria here, where you can do a search for public or confidential remarks. I'm going to go ahead and load a last search. So just like with ConnectMLS, it's going to house, this one does 5. So the last 5 searches that I did, it's going to house them here. I'm going to click on that, and it's going to automatically load that information here. So I'm looking for all active status in Oakland, single family, price range of $950, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. All that information's right here in the criteria summary, and then click on search. And this is my spreadsheet view of my search criteria. So it's going to give me my MLS number, my city, status, listing price, days on market, if it had any HOA fees, square footage, the address, bedroom. And so with this particular spreadsheet, it doesn't show you, oh, also I forgot to mention, so when you're actually entering the criteria here, you know, and with ConnectMLS, and that's why I said it didn't really matter if you know, eliminated the other data sources in that one section, because Paragon doesn't have that capability. So if you're doing a search, it's automatically going to pull from all of those areas. That's part of the NorCal MLS. And so when you're looking at the spreadsheet, that is another little difference between ConnectMLS and Paragon, is that on the spreadsheet, it doesn't show you what MLS it's pulling from. But if you're familiar with any of the MLSs, if you worked with them before, you can kind of tell by the MLS number, like MLS listings will have an ML in front of their listing number. BA is from Barry's. If it was from San Francisco, it would have an SF. And so that's kind of how you can tell what data source it's pulling from. But you have all this information on this spreadsheet. You can click on any of these and then open up the MLS report. But what I like to show you here, let's just say for this first listing, this action button here. So this action button works similar to the additional information button that you found on the spreadsheet in ConnectMLS. So if you click on the actions button here, I really, it's one of my favorite things about Paragon is that actions button. Like anything that makes working smarter and faster, easier, all for. So when you pull up this first listing here, click on actions, it comes up with system actions. You can do, you can look at that listing on the map, pull up its history, but it also has integrated tools. You could have a flyer printed. You can look at a property report, and these. And if I click on any of these, I mean, time doesn't allow me to do that, but the flyer is already made for you. The property report is already made for you for that listing. It is so nice. And look, you can also pull up the comparables for that listing. You can pull up the demographics, map of the property, and the property report from CRS data. The information's already there. You just click on that. Any disclosures. Here you could do rate plug, RPR, if you need to schedule a showing, and then the super key box setting. But I just think this is so, so helpful. Any of these listings that you pull. Sorry, let me go back. So this, here we go, caught up to me, my spreadsheet. So again, any of these listings, you can click on the actions button. Clicking on the more button is going to give you the PDF form of this spreadsheet, driving directions as well. And then let me show you what the actual report looks like. So I'm going to click on the first listing. And you guys might be, I mean, if you're not new to the industry and you're not a new agent, you know what the MLS report looks like. It is our legacy report. It does look a little bit different on this one versus ConnectMLS, but you have all of the listing information here. You have map view. You have these little quick link icons too. So you want to pull the comparables. You want to look at the property report, community reports. Here you have the property information, you have the listing information, showing information, public and confidential remarks, ADU information here. You still have access to the actions button here. But all the way over to the right of the screen here, this green button is where you can convert your reports. So if you want to change this MLS report to a client-friendly report, you just click on Client Report, and it's going to convert that into a client-friendly report. You want to share this report here, you can save it and share it, or you can share it with the collaboration link. If you click on this link, it's going to email your client, just as it would like in the client portal in ConnectMLS. It's going to email your client that link to view your MLS report, and then you can communicate back and forth. And then you could add it to your favorites as well. And here you have, you know, the report with just photos. We just want to pull that. But yeah, there's like a ton of different reports that you can pull. Let me close that. Actually, let me change it back to my agent 2 page. And then if, you know, on that spreadsheet, it showed 10 different listings, so that you can scroll over to the right and then just move through, just press on this or click on this little arrow, and it's going to move through all of the listings. So you can kind of take a look at it. All of your listings here. And that pretty much, I'm going to go back to the home button. That pretty much sums up. Let me go into, because I really want to show you my events and training. Sums up Paragon. But if you guys want further information, let's see here. So on the 15th, I have a showing time webinar scheduled, give you some helpful tools, dive in a lot further. Paragon Essentials, I highly recommend signing up for that. Cloud CMA on the 22nd. That's one of my favorite. Anything that has to do with like agent branding and marketing, I just love. So Cloud CMA is one of my favorite products that we offer because let me show you real quick. I'm gonna go into Paragon real quick. Where was I? I was gonna show you this real quick because so here is like the MLS. So if you're working with Paragon and Paragon is your system of choice, that's great. You know, here is what the Paragon, the legacy report looks like. And then when you convert it over to, click on my favorites, I have it here on my favorites. A client report, this is what it looks like. But if you use Cloud CMA, so I'm gonna click on Actions and click on Cloud CMA Property Report. This gives all of the information that the MLS report will have, but in a really nice layout, and it's a branded layout because you'll go in and you'll put all your agent branding and it just looks so, so nice. So I highly recommend going in and let me click on and signing up for Cloud CMA. Paragon Connect, that is the mobile version of Paragon. So I highly recommend taking advantage of that. ConnectMLS Essentials on the 24th. And then on the 23rd as well, we have the adding and maintaining listings. That's a new feature for ConnectMLS. Yeah, I went over a minute of my time. And so I see Lynn is here. And yeah, thank you so much. I'm going to put in the chat my contact information. If you want to sign up for, you know, like a one-on-one class, I can do that for you. And then I'll go in the chat and I see some questions came up. And then I'll answer those here and give Lynn the floor. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Carmen.
Oh, I appreciate you guys. My pleasure.
Testing, can you hear me?
Yep.
Amen. Okay. Sorry, I don't know what was going on, but give me a second to I have to reboot. So let me pull everything back up and we'll get started. Okay, I'm going to be posting the roll call sheet for the rules and regs course. If you're here for rules and regs, please sign this sheet the same way you did for Carmen with your name and RO number. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Sorry for the delay, guys. I was having technical difficulties. But my name is Lynn Coleman. I am the compliance specialist here at Bridge. I'm gonna go over some of the basic MLS rules and regulations today. For the sake of time, if you guys have questions anytime during my presentation, please make sure that you hold on to your questions and I will answer them at the end of the training. If you need me to repeat myself or misunderstood something I said, feel free to gently unmute yourself and just ask me to repeat myself. Other than that, hold all your questions and interruptions for the end. And if you don't have any questions at the end, you can hop off and I'll stick around for anyone who does have questions. Okay, let's go on. All right, so here are the topics I will be going over. Why do the MLS rules exist? I'm gonna give you some information on where to find more MLS information. We're gonna go over the most common rule violations that occur. I will also touch on the violation notification and escalation process, coming soon listings, and the MLS clear cooperation policy. Okay, so why do the rules exist? The rules exist for you and other participants and subscribers to be compensated fairly. You know exactly what compensation to expect at the time that you enter a deal based on what was entered onto the MLS. Any changes to that will have to be gone over between you and the agent you're working with. We also exist to ensure accuracy of the MLS. So basically, all of the information that is input into the MLS should be accurate to the best of the listing broker's knowledge. So if you're inputting something onto the MLS, to the best of your knowledge, that is accurate information. And we are here to support you and confirm that. Here are some places that I recommend finding more information. As an agent, I always recommend to start with your home MLS as a starting point, or your home or your association. So bridgeaor.org and bridgemls.com should be weekly, if not daily, sites that you stop at. I say daily because everything that you do within the MLS can be accessed from the MLS website. So you can access Paragon from the MLS website. You can access ConnectMLS from the MLS website. You can access Bridge AOR from the MLS website, CAR, NAR. All of these sites can be accessed from the MLS website. And the reason why I say start there is because any new information, any updates, any new products, anything like that will be announced on our website. So to stay in the know of what's going on, to make sure you're up to date on any rule changes, policy changes, events, training courses, all of that can be found on the MLS website. So if you make a habit of just checking that daily and just kind of skimming through, you'll stay informed on what's current. But yes, these are the websites where I say you want to be checking on a regular. Anytime there's any rule changes, it usually starts from the NAR, from the national level, and then it ciphers down to the state level with CAR, and then CAR pushes it to us. So if you just kind of want to be aware of what's happening, any policy changes that are on the table, anything like that, definitely stay tapped in with these websites. Okay, so here are the top violations that most agents violate on a regular. Sale not being reported within 3 days. This also includes pending of sale, failure to post photos, branding, failure to enter accurate information, misuse of public remarks, showing access, and churning of listings. So I'm gonna go through each of these. Okay, the first one is sale not being reported within 3 days. And this includes pending and sold listings. So basically what that means is once a listing has gone into pending or sold status, the listing broker shall report or input the listing into the MLS as sold or pending within 3 days after the action date took place. So if you sell your listing, if your listing goes into contract today, March 9th, that means you have 3 business days from today to go and put that into the MLS. So that means tomorrow is day 1, Friday is day 2, Wednesday is day 3. If that listing is not input by, did I say Wednesday? I meant Monday, excuse me, Monday is day 3. If that listing is not input by Monday, on Tuesday, when you go to input that listing, it will automatically be subject to violation and you'll receive an email notification right away. So it's definitely something you want to pay attention to. If you need to put a Post-it note, sticky note on your computer, set your phone alarm, but keep in mind every time that you go into pending or sold status, you have 3 days, 3 business days. So whatever you need to do to make sure that happens, you know, keep a lot of agents, you know, get going and they forget to go back. You're excited that you sold, you're excited you're in contract, and it's like, what else matters? But it doesn't make any sense to sell and make this money from your commission if you're going to have to pay it back in fines. So make sure that you're keeping up with the timing and that you're following through and maintaining your paperwork and your listing data on the MLS. If a listing is sold for comparables only, excuse me, not sold for comparables. If it's listed for comparables only, then that is a different scenario as far as how you would input that into MLS. So for a comps only listing would mean that at some point during you getting into business with your seller, they state, I do not want my listing, my property placed on the MLS at all during the time of our selling agreement or of our listing agreement. So basically what would happen is the seller signs a document stating that they don't want it on their listing on the MLS, and you will go through the whole process. You know, it goes to pending, it goes to sold, the same normal steps that you would do behind the scenes with your seller. Once that listing is sold and complete, you can then go into the MLS and add this listing data, the data only. So basically you would input maybe a photo of, you know, you can put one photo or you can put multiple photos. You can put the photo information so, you know, someone could see to kind of gauge what it looks like, the address, you know, the numbers, what are the particulars, how much it's sold for, how many bedrooms, things like that, the details of the listing. And the point of this would be for, say, there's another agent selling a property similar in that same area. They can then go and say, hey, during this time, this sold for this amount of money. This is the comparables to what the price that the listing we're looking at. That way you can see, like, is it priced according to the market? If it's a fair pricing, you know, if there's something, you know, maybe this particular property sold for less and they're selling this one for more, you can use that as leverage, you know, in making your deal and when you're doing your negotiating. So that's the point of the for comps purposes only. So when you're inputting that, you don't do a for comps only until the end of your sale. Once it is completed and done, they're not when it's pending, not when it's, you know, live, it goes you wait until it's completely sold and done. So what would happen is you go into the MLS, you're going to input all of your listing information. The trick to making this a for comps only as far as the data would receive it is to make sure that the dates are all the same. So on a regular listing, you would input, you know, there'd be a listing date, there would be an actual pending date, there would be a closing date. When you're doing for comps only listing, all of those dates are the current date. So if my listing sold, say it sold yesterday, I'm done deal. I go into the MLS, I put the listing date as March 9th. I put the pending date as March 9th. I put the closing date as March 9th. Those 3 dates is what tells the system that this is only going in the MLS for comps only. This is not an active listing, and it will not send you a violation based on those three things. The second thing that you would need to do is also put in the confidential remarks the verbiage for comp purposes only. That has to be there. That is a requirement. However, if I see this listing and I see that all of the dates are not, that I see that all the dates are the same, that's a visual trigger for me to say, hey, this is probably for comps only. And then I will go secondary to the remarks, the confidential remarks. If I don't see that there, I will more than likely reach out to you and say, hey, just wanted to confirm this listing was input. Is it for comps only? You will say yes, and then I will go and make that edit for you. Once you have put something in a sold status, you can no longer go back and make any changes. So if you sometimes we're going fast, maybe you hit saved and you forgot to type that verbiage. It is a requirement. It is technically a violation if you don't put it in there. But under the circumstances, because there's not something you can correct, I will reach out to you and confirm it, and I will help you out with that. Okay, so next. Okay, so failure to post photo. At least one photo or graphic image of the front exterior of your property accurately displaying the listed property is required to be posted on the MLS upon submission of the listing in all categories other than business opportunity and lots and land. So if I input my listing onto the MLS today, within one business day, there has to be a photo. So by tomorrow, you would have to have a photo. If you say, you have maybe a photographer coming out next week or in a couple of days, but you want to put your listing up right now, then you need to go and take a picture with your camera phone and of the front of the property and post that on the MLS until you get your professional pictures. Otherwise, you cannot put that listing on the MLS. So if it's photo of the MLS, if there's only going to be one photo of the property, that one photo has to be the front exterior of the property. If you have multiple photos, as long as one of them is the front exterior, you're within compliance. If you say you upload 40 pictures of your listing and you don't have one single photo that's the front of the property, that is still a violation, and it's just as good as not putting up any photo at all. So if you have a listing, you have to have at least one photo. If you only have one photo, that one photo has to be the front exterior of the property. You have multiple photos, then at least one of those multiple photos has to be the front exterior of the property. If you come across a listing, your same property that was listed a couple years ago by a different agent, it's an old listing, and you see the photos that they've used in the past, you are not allowed to go and take those photos from previous listings without written permission from that previous agent. A lot of times, I think I've dealt with maybe 2 in the last week. I'm not sure why it's happening so much recently. Before, this was somewhat of a rare occurrence. Not a rare occurrence, but this particular failure to post a photo is something that happens all the time, but actually taking someone's photo from another listing wasn't something that happened often. But recently I've been getting a lot. So I just want to strongly stress, if you see a photo from a previous listing, make sure you reach out to that agent. More than likely, that agent's information is still on that old listing where you see these photos, and you can just reach out to them directly. And make sure, send them an email so you have their reply in writing. That way, if it comes up, you have this documentation. If we reach out to you from the MLS and say, hey, we noticed that these are the same photos, did you get permission? You can just shoot that email and say, hey, this is, Jack Schmo agent saying this is okay for me to use it. And no harm, no foul. But what happens is, if you take that photo and the agent reaches out to us, and I go and I do my investigation and I see like, okay, these are indeed photos from the previous listing, I will send you a violation, and either you will need to remove it right away, or still reach out to that agent and see if they will give you permission. Majority of the time, agents will give you permission to use their previous listing photos. They just want the respect of being asked and acknowledged. Like if you paid money to have a property professionally staged and photographed, and then here I come just like, oh, right click, save, and it's mine and I'm using it and I didn't put any work in, that can be a little frustrating. So, I mean, there are plenty of agents who may not care, but just for the sake of respect amongst your peers and colleagues and the people that you're going to have to be working with in future deals and maybe future brokerages along your career, you want to make sure that you respect their work and they will respect yours. If you have a listing where the seller does not want any photos whatsoever, you will have to have them fill out what is called an SELM form or Bridge MLS waiver form. There's a lot of different terms for it. But if that is the case, then they will have to fill out this form. And you'll hear me mention this form in a couple of other slides as well. But if your seller doesn't want their photos for privacy reasons, maybe they don't want, who knows what a reason could be, but some people are, if they still are living in the place, sometimes they don't want, people to know what their house looks like on the inside. And they're well within their rights to do that, but they will have to sign this form stating such, and it will have to be submitted to us. That way, if we come across your listing and there's no photo, excuse me, we can go into our records with your listing and see, like, did this agent send us a form? Yes, we have a form. So if we get a complaint from another agent saying, hey, there's no photos, what's up with that? We can say the seller opted not to have photos on the MLS. This agent is within compliance at this time, or something like that. But yeah, make sure you get the seller to sign that and you submit it over to us if that is the case. So branding. Branding is anything that pertains to your brand or any business attached with your listing or photos or anything like that. So if you post your listing on the MLS and you have photos attached to it, there can be no for sale signs that have your contact information, broker information, company logos, anything like that. Anything that's identifiable to your brand should not be in any of your photos. Places like Starbucks, Target, things like that with their actual company logos should not be in your photos either. A lot of times people will post like a floor plan photo of the property, and majority of the times those are generated from within your company, or maybe your company has an application that they use to create these floor plan photos, and there's usually stamped information at the bottom of those PDFs or those forms, those documents. That is something you would have to crop out. It's okay to post a floor plan photo. It's too many for me. I'm sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied. Say it 3 times fast, I can't do it. Anyway, your floor plan photo cannot have your business information at the bottom. So make sure if you're going to use that photo, you crop that out. If you have the picture has your for sale sign in it, and obviously if the sign is in the mud, we're not going to expect you to dig it up just so you can take pictures. Just simply blur out that information. Black it out, blur it out, crop it out, however you need to do it to make sure that you're within compliance for your photos. Branding and tour information. So if you have a branded virtual tour website, so this is a link that I would click on and it will take me to a 3D, like in-depth, presentation of your listing. A lot of times at the end of those, Up comes your beautiful face with your name and your contact information, or it's in the corner or wherever it will be. That is considered a branded virtual tour if that has your information in it. There is a designated space where that branded virtual tour goes in on the MLS. Same thing for a brand, I think I have a, okay, yeah, no, sorry. So for the unbranded means if I click on this link, it's just gonna take me to a walkthrough of your property. There's no other information attached to it. It's just the pictures of the property, the 3D Matterport, whatever it is, floor plan, all of that. There is no branding, name, company, phone number, any of that on that. That also has a designated place to go onto the MLS. And the reason for this is there is information that is for public and there's information that is only internal within our MLS members. So the fields that we utilize for this information designates who sees this information. So if it's a branded tour with your information and all of that on it, then that means that only the MLS members and the agents see that. And if they choose to share with their clients, that is them. But we are protecting the client-agent relationship here. So we don't want people going around and cutting any corners. If I'm the seller's agent, then I communicate with my seller and the potential buyer's agent. The buyer themselves do not communicate directly with the seller agent. It's just protection of the whole deal and make sure that, no wires get crossed, everything is handled correctly. So here is a visual of the branded media link and the unbranded media link. So just make sure if you're copy and pasting those links, you're putting it in the right spot. Okay, so failure to post accurate information in a required field. I feel like this one kind of speaks for itself. If you're inputting information to the MLS, like I stated before, you want to make sure that it's accurate to the best of your knowledge. If you have, say, a 4-bedroom house, 4-bedroom, 2-bath house, it's on public market. It's on the, public record, excuse me, blanking. It's on public record as a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house. Say at some point along the line, your seller decided, you know what, we don't really need our garage. We're going to make that a 5th bedroom. And they, build it out, whatever they do. Maybe they don't, even if they don't have permits for it, that house is still a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house. If I show up as a potential buyer and I'm looking to see your house, and I go to your house and I see 4 bedrooms and maybe you listed it as 5, and I show up and I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't a true 5. This is a converted garage. So this house doesn't have a garage and it has, it's just the information has to be accurate. So you want to paint a true picture. Now you can definitely explain in the remarks that although this is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house, the garage was converted to the 5th bedroom, and outline, what the circumstances of that is. Used as a 5th bedroom, doesn't have a closet, does have a closet, could be converted back to the garage, anything like that. But you want to make sure the point of this is to paint a clear picture of the property that a potential buyer is showing up to be seeing. If you're going out and physically viewing these listings, you don't want to waste your time because someone decided to exaggerate or make something sound better on the listing, and you show up and it's not that. So another thing, if you do not have all of the information for your listing, you are not to input that onto the MLS. So maybe you're selling this property, you haven't got all the square footage details, and you haven't got, maybe you're not sure if it's 3 bedrooms, and maybe you're trying to confirm if the 4th one is permitted or whatever it is. You cannot just skip over fields. So a lot of times agents, I don't know this footage, I'm just gonna put 000. Oh, I don't know how big the lot is, I'm just gonna put 000. What that does is while you're in your head, you're thinking, let me hurry up and get this on the MLS so it can get out there. But on the flip side, that's actually a disservice, because say I have a search criteria in place and I'm looking for a property that's 2,000 square feet, and you have your, square footage as 0,000. Will your listing come up in my search? No, because you have 0,000 and I have specific criteria that I'm looking for. So if you don't have all the accurate information, do not put it on the MLS. If I reach out to you to confirm or have you correct information that you've input on the MLS that we found to not be correct, you have 2 days after being notified, usually. Your notification, if I send you an email, I will allow you 2 days. If you have an automatic violation that was generated and there's something you need to correct based on a generated violation email, that email will usually tell you the grace period for getting that correct. So it'll tell you when that date is that you need to have it correct. But if I reach out to you, I'm giving you 2 days to respond to me and make this correction that I'm requesting, or provide me the documentation to support whatever you're inputting into the MLS. Okay, misuse of public remarks. So information in the public remarks shall only relate to the marketing description and condition of the property. So that's where you will put, 4-bedroom, garage was converted to a fifth, used as a 5th bedroom, 2 bathrooms, beautiful views, blah, blah, blah. Whatever kind of marketing, the way you want to zhuzh it up and make it sound great, that's where you would put that information, as long as it's accurate. If you putting any contact information, business logos, branded tour links, even unbranded tour links are not allowed in the public remarks. So only the actual wording description, no websites, no lockbox information, no gate security codes, no vacancy information, none of that information. And especially no compensation or money bonuses information can be put into the public remarks. Lockbox, alarm codes, and gate codes, security codes, those are all security violations. We tend to not give any warnings on those. So if you input, a lockbox code onto your public remarks and you publish it, and the only way I will give some sort of leeway is if sometimes we hit save and you're like, oh shoot, and you go back and you change it right away. Sometimes those things are instantaneous. Maybe you didn't catch it quite as quickly as before the system caught it or before I caught it. But if I see that you're like proactive and you're like, oh my goodness, I did this, it was a complete accident, I just copy and pasted the information to the wrong field, I will work with you on that. But if you put it up there and it's been there for a day or two and I come across it or it's reported to me, you're getting a violation and there more than likely will be a fine attached to it. The system doesn't allow much for any mistakes in that regard because it is a security violation for other agents. Have it being that information as far as how to get into the house. For one, if you're showing a house and some random crazy person is, maybe they're just looking out on the MLS and on listings to see like, oh, what houses can I go squat in? What houses can I go, vandalize or steal from, or whatever that reason is. And here you are showing this property, and then some random person just has the gate code and they come in beep, 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 and they walk in. That's not safe. That doesn't look good for you as in your business. That doesn't look good. That's not going to make your client feeling secure about the neighborhood. It's just bad all the way around. So you want to make sure you're not doing that. And then you've taken that portion seriously, because that's very important to your safety, to your whole, to the whole, greatness of the deal. Compensation or bonuses, we don't go around discussing our pay. So that one's a straightforward. That's not something that's public information. No one needs to know what the money that is being made, the compensation for this deal is not public information, period. And that's simple as that. Okay, so here's that SELM form that I mentioned. So in connection to showing access. So properties entered into the MLS, must be available for show within 3 days, subject to any tenant's rights or stipulations indicated by the seller at the time of the deal. I mean, at the time of the selling contract being created. So if the seller wishes to keep the listing off the market for any reason, then they would have to fill out this form. And see here, there's a couple of different options. So like I mentioned before with the photo, if the seller doesn't want any photos of their listing on the MLS, then you guys would sign this. You and the seller would sign this. You would check this box, and it will say no photo. I hereby certify that I have instructed my agent not to publish any photos on the MLS of the property on the MLS. If the seller is maybe the listing is having some work done, maybe they need to clean up, maybe they're still moving out. You have a valid listing agreement, but they're not quite ready to go on the market. So at that point, you would submit this form and say, hey, basically stating like my seller, well, you don't have to include this verbiage, but I'm saying that for the sake of circumstance as to why it would happen. My seller is having some work done, won't be ready for 2 weeks. So you would say, do not submit property to the MLS until, we'll just say March the 20th, and you would input that date there, and you would email that over to us. So that way, when we would basically update the database, and then around March the 20th, what we do is we go and scrub and look and say, okay, these listings should be available on the MLS at this current time. Then we'll go into the MLS. If we don't see this address up, then we'll send you a notification and say, hey, you sent us the SELM form that this listing will be on the MLS by this date. It's not up as of yet. What's the story? Then from there, you will either, say, it's not quite ready. You would have to submit us another form and go from there. Now, one thing I want to be clear is that's not something that you should be waiting for us to do. If I just come across it and I say I got a lot going on that day, I'm just going to send you a violation, and then you're going to come back and we're going to go from there. But so you want to be in front of that. If you know that your March 20th date is coming up on and your listing isn't ready, nowhere near being ready, go ahead and send us that email so that way we can extend it out and you don't incur any violation or fines. Also, if a seller doesn't want their listing on the MLS at all, and that goes back to that original slide where I spoke about for comps only, then they would have signed the same form and say, do not submit property to the MLS during the entire listing period. So back to the showing access. So if you have a listing where, say, like I said, they're still doing some work on it, and you input that listing onto the MLS and your seller doesn't want it to be shown, then you're in violation. If you're putting a listing onto the MLS, it must be available for show within 3 days of it going onto the MLS. If that is not the case, then you do not enter it onto the MLS at all, and you submit us that form saying it will be on the MLS on this date. But definitely, if you're putting it on there, that means it's ready to go and it's active. The only thing that we would need to consider at that point is if there are tenants who live in the place, and maybe that's why we can't show it, or maybe the tenant has, time frames where they can only be out of the house this time for showing or whatever, and you have to work around that schedule. And that's something that needs to be declared in writing as well from the seller at the time that you get your listing. So those are the circumstances where we will work around that 3-day period. Tenants' rights, and if the seller has something that they've stipulated where it affects that 3 days. Churning of listings and relistings. So manipulation of listing data, which misleads the public, participants, and subscribers is not permitted. Only when the listing subscriber has signed a new listing agreement with the seller shall the participant or subscriber be permitted to relist the property in the MLS as a new listing. Only when a property has been off the market for more than 30 days will the days on market restart at 0. This applies to withdrawals, cancellations, extensions, expirations, and or other modifications to the listing agreement. So basically this is saying, say you put your listing up, it's been on the market for a couple of weeks. In the middle, the seller decides, you know what? I want to redo the kitchen so I can increase the price, or whatever the reason is. Or maybe no one's really, my listing isn't attracting any buyers. So let's, redo the yard so it can have some more curb appeal, whatever your reason is. If it's on the market and the seller says, let's take it off for the market for a period of time to do these updates or whatever the case may be. Once that 2 weeks is up or however long it takes, you're basically going back into that same listing that you already had on the market and bringing it back active. It is not going to be a new listing. What agents have attempted to do in many cases is, oh, my listing has been on the market for a couple weeks and it's not getting any foot traffic. I'm going to take it down and then put it right back up so it shows up as new again. So when you input a listing on the MLS, it shows up as new for about a week or two, I believe. After that, it just shows up as active. As other new listings come up, your listing gets further and further down the list in a search. So the purpose of making it back new again is so it can come back up in that search and people can see it. But that is considered manipulating the data. What we have to keep in mind, the days on market and the cumulative days on market, those things are still going, regardless if you take this listing and make it a new one. The address is still in record on the MLS as being on the market within the past couple of weeks or whatever. So if I click on those days on market, it still shows days on market. So all you're doing, you're manipulating the data for a potential buyer. That's important information, how long a listing has been on the market. That is, important to your negotiating ability as far as pricing, and, how urgent that the seller is willing to go into, is how, motivated they are to sell. So that information is important. So we don't want to manipulate that data. In regards to the 30 days of the days on market being restart, so it says more than 30 days. The reason why it says more than 30 days, and I want to make sure I stress this, is so if I take my listing off the market today at $249, and I'm going to wait for 30 days so I can relist it as new. If I wait exactly 30 days and 30 calendar days, and then I go and on that 30th day, I input my listing at, say, 145 on the 30th day. It has not, by hours calculations, it has not been a full 30 days. It won't be a full 30 days until after 2:49 p.m. So no one is going to remember that I clicked this button at 2:49 p.m. Maybe your clock said it was 2:49 and the system's clock said it was 2:51. No one is doing that math. So I like to say at least 31 days, just to give you that space of to the minute, because it's 30 days to the minute. So you want to make sure that and then once you input that and hit save, then guess what? You're gonna have to wait another 30 days from that date that you input it in order to restart that. So make sure that you do go over 31 days, or at least 31 days before you re-input your listing and start it over. Okay, so violations and escalations. So if you receive a violation, you will first receive a courtesy notice, with the exception of those security violations that I spoke of. We don't give any warnings or courtesies on those. But if you receive a violation, you will first receive a courtesy notice. excuse me. This notice is just a one-time warning advising you of the details of the rule. There is no fine attached to the courtesy notice. If there is any correction to be made, you will have 24 hours from the date of the notice to make the correction. If the correction is not made, the violation can escalate to an actual fine. So, if you receive a notice, it's simple. The notice will tell you what your violation was. If you put something in the public remarks that shouldn't have been there, go ahead and correct it. If you receive a violation that has a fine to it, making the correction does not take away the fine. So if you say, you've done it once and you got your courtesy, and so the second time, you maybe next week or a month or however many times, you forget and you do the same violation over, it's going to advise you to correct your violation. That's something that has to be done, period, because it has to be accurate information on the MLS and it has to be within MLS guidelines. However, if that particular violation has given you a fine, you still will have to take care of that fine as well as making the correction. Think of it as if you get stopped by a police for having a broken tail light, they're not going to just give you a ticket and then you say, here, I paid it, and still drive off with that broken tail light. You still have to get the tail light fixed. So think of it like that. If you make the correction, I'm sorry, I'm getting messages. Let me respond. Give me 1 second, sorry guys. Okay, sorry, that made me lose my train of thought. Okay, so yeah, so if you make sure if you receive a violation, fine or not, you make the correction. If you get a violation and you make the correction, you still are responsible for the fine. If you are a person who has a transaction coordinator and they make a violation, and maybe, you entrusted them to update your listing and put your information in correctly, you still are responsible for that violation. Now, if you're, however, you need to hash that out within your brokerage as to how that transaction coordinated is reprimanded or what their responsibility is in this particular situation, that's something that you would have to work out in your brokerage. But as far as the violation, if it's your listing, it's going to you. So I get a lot of times when people get a violation, they're like, but I didn't do it, it was my transaction coordinator. That's where we can't excuse it because you chose to have a secretary who makes mistakes. That's something that you're entrusting them to do your work. And if you're allowing them to do it for you, you're saying that they're going to do it correct. So that's something that you would have to work out within your company, but you still would have to take care of the violation and or fine if you receive one. So here's the notification. If you receive a fine, this is what it will look like for the most part. I try to be as clear as possible in the verbiage here. Even though I state all of the things attached to it, I still get the same question as to, do I have to pay a fine? How do I pay a fine? All of that information is here. Your listing is not within compliance of the Bridge MLS rules and regulation. A fine has been assessed. Please correct the listing to avoid an increase of fine. Once the violation is corrected, simply reply to this email to confirm. Please be advised that your correction of this violation does not excuse the fine imposed. Your fine amount will be due within 30 days of this notice. Payments can be made via phone here and sending a check here. Now, if you still have questions of that after that, feel free to give me a call and I'll be happy to help you. But the the basic things that you need to know. How do I pay my fine? When do I pay my fine? How much is my fine? All of that is here. Now, for sale not being reported, this is one tricky one where you can't correct. The violation notices are general. They basically say the same verbiage no matter what the actual rule that you violated is. So sale not being reported within 3 days. Now, if you go into the listing, like I said, on the 4th day and you update your listing, you're obviously late. The system automatically recognizes that. It's going to send you this violation. So in this case, you can't go back and change the time that you did something. You were just late. There's no way you can make yourself not late. There is no correction that could be done. So the only thing to be done in the case of you reporting your sale late is to, if it's a courtesy warning, take notes of that and don't do it, so you won't do it again. Or if it's your second or third, violation in this same rule and you get a fine, the only thing left to do is take care of the fine. So I always get on this one, I understand the confusion because I always get the calls of like, okay, it's saying for me, telling me to correct my, violation, which the email says make your correction, but I don't know how to correct it. That's understandable. It's confusing, but I'm stating here for hopefully you'll remember it, that this is the one where you can't correct. Only thing you could correct is if you actually mistyped the date and got a violation as a result of that. Then you will call us and we will, we'll ask you for some supporting documentation and we'll make the correction for you. So this is the fine notice. This is what the fine notification would look like. Courtesy notice. So here's the courtesy notice. This is what it looks like. It's very similar to the previous fine notification, just slightly different verbiage. Even though too, this says, this is a courtesy notification. Your MLS listing is not in compliance with the Bridge MLS rules and regulations. No fine will be assessed at this time. However, please correct your data. Even though it says that, I still get the calls that says, how much is my fine? What do I do? All of that information is stated in the email. So if we're reading the emails, if you receive any emails from Bridge Compliance, Bridge in general, please make it a habit of actually reading them. I always get the excuse, I didn't get the email, I didn't see the email, whatever that may be. Majority of the time, it either got buried in your list of emails, which is, hey, we're busy, we understand. But it is your responsibility to read the emails and make sure that it's not something that you need to know. So if you receive these, if you have questions, call me. If you receive these, make the corrections. I'm always here if you have any questions, but just definitely try to read your emails first to save yourself some time for calling and me some time for answering. But if it's something you need to know, I am definitely here to support you. So call if you need some, if you need technical support on how maybe you didn't update your listing because you didn't know how, or something was glitching or whatever, that we have technical support that can help you. You can call them and they will, remote into your computer and walk you through it. Whatever you need, they can help you with. And if you need assistance, if you're that, I'm out of the country, my listing sold and I forgot, give me a call. If you can either submit us the information, we can go ahead and make that update for you, or at bare minimum, just let us know. And if that, when it comes up, I can say, at least this person was being proactive. I'll work with them on their violation because, we forget things, we're human. So that's understandable. If you're communicating with us, we'll help you and we'll work with you. If you're just negligent, you're just like, oh, I'll get to it when I get to it, we're less likely, we're probably not going to have as fun of conversations. Okay. couple more slides here. So coming soon listings. A coming soon listing is a valid, you have a valid listing contract, and an SELM form that I mentioned before has been signed, and you're putting it into a coming soon status onto the MLS that lets only the Bridge MLS members and participants knows that we have this listing coming up. It's not quite ready for the market yet, but FYI, this is going to be available soon. Coming soon, exactly what it states in the title, coming soon. So this listing is coming available soon. That way, me as a potential buyer's agent, maybe I have a buyer who's on the market, kind of dragging their feet a little bit, looking, but not quite ready. You can say, hey, think about it. This listing is coming up in a couple of weeks. It fits your criteria. You know, let's add it to the list to visit in a couple of weeks when you're ready. Things like that. If you have the listing, if it's on the MLS for 30 days, but yet it's still not ready for the market, that listing will automatically have to be canceled, and you would have to input it again as another coming soon. So where I speak about relisting and all of that from the previous slide, that doesn't pertain here. So in the coming soon status, the system will only allow it to be on the coming soon for 30 days. If it goes over that, it needs to be removed and put back as a new coming soon. And if that's the case, you would need to contact us and extend that SELM form, or just reach out to us. Majority of the time for the coming soon listings, we'll automatically cancel those if we see them coming up and they're expired, and we'll just send you a notification on that. I don't really give out any violations on the coming soon over 30 days, but it is still your responsibility to make sure that you're maintaining your listings. We'll be here to assist you. And like I said, if I come across those expired coming soon listings, I'll go ahead and delete them and just send you an email and let you know that it's been deleted. But definitely it's not something for you to depend on. You still want to be proactive and maintain your own listings. Now we have what's called the Clear Cooperation Policy. So the Clear Cooperation Policy states that if you're going to be doing any outside marketing, whether it's putting a for sale sign in front of a property, sending out, postcards, email blasts, brochures, whatever it is that you use for your marketing, if you're doing that, that listing must be on the MLS within 1 business day of any of those actions occurring. Basically, you're stating that if you're advertising this is a listing, this is an active listing, a listing that's on the market. Now, the purpose of this is to level the playing field for other agents, not doing pocket listings and creating your little groups where you're only working with a select amount of agents and buyers and things like that. This is putting it out there for all the Bridge MLS members to know that this listing is coming out. Now, with that being said, with it having to be on the MLS, if you put your listing on the MLS as a coming soon, that is acceptable for being on the MLS. And the reason for that is because coming soon listings can be seen by other Bridge MLS participants and subscribers. So that will basically cover this argument of it being available to your local colleagues. So if you have a listing and your sale is not quite ready for the MLS as a complete active listing, but you want to start, getting the word out there and sending out your marketing information, your marketing packages, that will be fine as long as you have it on the MLS as at least a coming soon or active listing. So that's that on Clear Cooperation. This is my last slide. Here is my information. This concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, now would be the time. Feel free to take down my phone number and my email information. Make sure that if you are in this class for rules and regs, that you sign the roll sheet. Here is the link to it again, in case you missed it. But like I said, if you have any questions, now would be the time to ask those. If you don't have any questions, feel free to leave and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Lynn.
We don't automatically send out the recordings. If you specifically want the recording, then you could send myself or Carmen an email and we can send it to you. Please be advised that the recordings for this particular class is only available for up to about 2 weeks. I think it automatically deletes from within Zoom. But we do have actual recordings that we have on our YouTube channel and on the website for you to actually access. It's not this specific one, but it's of this same content that we store on the website that you'll have access to if you want to revisit anything. And for those asking questions in the chat, go ahead and unmute yourself. That way everyone can hear it. Sometimes I miss questions. It looks like I got them all, but sometimes I miss the questions. So if you didn't get your question answered, please unmute yourself and ask it.
Did we need to do anything for attendance? I think they had said something about that at the end. We needed to raise our hand or something.
No, the link that I just sent a second ago, you need to sign your name and RO number on that.
Oh, when I try to click that, I didn't catch that. It's not opening for me. It can't be reached. I think it has something to do with the firewall that I'm using on my computer.
Oh, did anyone else have that issue? Okay, so Rick, go ahead and I'm gonna put my email back in this chat. Go ahead and just send me an email with your RO number. Just go ahead and send me an email. That way I can make sure that you get credit after the fact, and just include your RO number so I can make sure I add you in.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And will you also make sure I got credit for the earlier session as well?
So were you unable to sign Carmen's as well?
Yeah, I didn't. Both of them did the same thing for me. I got an error message.
Okay, so I
didn't realize that was the way.
Okay, so just include that you're needed credit for both in the email that you sent, and I'll make sure that it's uploaded for both of us. Okay, so I see a lot of people lingering around. So either that means you weren't paying attention and don't realize the class is over. Okay, now you're disappearing. All right, if no one has any other questions, I'm going to go ahead and end the class. You guys have?
I have a question that I put in the chat. I guess you didn't see it.
Okay, what was your question?
I did roll call a little bit later in the class, is that okay? It doesn't like have to be like at 2 o'clock, right?
What time did you join in?
No, I've been in. I just the link. I didn't see.
Oh, you mean the link? Yeah, no. Like I said, I just sent it again for people who didn't get to sign it. So
okay, so it doesn't matter what time though we signed in.
No, it doesn't. Well, for the actual link that you're clicking, it doesn't matter what time you put your link, but we are able to verify if you just signed in at 2:55.
No. I've been paying attention.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why I added at the end to make sure we have if you missed it, to go ahead and sign it.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. Anyone else? Last chance, going once, going twice. All righty, well, you guys enjoy the rest of your day and welcome to Bridge. Goodbye.